Now, I look at a lot of Twitter in my downtime, which is not that much now that I think about it. What I like doing is I like looking at, other video game discourses, because obviously I like to chime in. I have my own opinions, even though I'm a Sonic fan. I'm also a fan of multiple other different games. I don't just play one kind of game. So I like looking at threads, talking about different ideas of what they like in video games, stuff they don't like in video games. And I've got one here: discourses that need to die, gaming edition. So let's not waste too much of your time. Let's dive right into this. We must grow as a society and move on from console wars. I like the idea of console wars in the sense of you've got different games pushing each other. Sony's doing something, Nintendo's doing something, Xbox is doing something. You've got three big heavy hitters releasing games. Nintendo's got Mario, they've got Donkey Kong, they've got Kirby, all of that stuff. You've got Sony that got The Last of Us, they've got Spider-Man, they've got the PS5. You've got Xbox that have games and Game Pass. But okay. All jokes aside though, they're all releasing games. That's the important thing. That's what I like about it. But when you look at it from a modern day perspective, it's not really as competitive as you'd hope it would be. And it's not even like it needs to be competitive, but it's just kind of lackadaisical. No one really cares about it too much. And honestly, I don't mind PlayStation taking digs at Nintendo every once in a while, but it's never going to be like the 90s where it's going to be Nintendo versus Sega, Sonic versus Mario. It's never going to be like that again. And honestly, who cares? Realistically, who cares? You want to play a Nintendo Switch? Do it. Play it. You want to play an Xbox? Do it. You want to play it doesn't matter at the end of the day. We should move on from console wars. But let's never forget, Xbox don't release games. Nintendo's for kids. PC, that's for Discord. Sonic model debate. Who cares if his claws are slightly shorter or he's skinny or some If the game is good, it doesn't matter. Now for me, I agree with this in the sense of it really doesn't matter. But obviously when you look at the design of Sonic, when it came to Sonic Unleashed up the way to Sonic Generations or even Sonic Lost World, he had a distinct design. His design didn't change at all. It literally didn't change at all. So obviously when you go from that to Sonic Forces where he's light blue, his model's shorter, his quills are misplaced, it's going to be a bit jarring. And a lot of people haven't really recovered from that because Sonic Frontiers also uses the same kind of model. But I mean, it doesn't matter. I think it doesn't matter. If we're going to get a 9 out of 10 Sonic game, would I really care if the quills are short? No. But I understand why people complain, right? People always have an idea of what they want a character to be. Whether they want Mario to have a hat, whether they want Yoshi to speak English, whether they want Donkey Kong to be me. There's a lot of different ideas people have for their characters that they love.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
So when people are complaining, you can't really just tell them, be quiet, suck it up. You can't do that because people will have an idea of what they want. It doesn't matter, but when you have an idea of what you want your character to look like, it's gonna be hard to look at something else and be like, I can rock with that. You're never gonna think that. But I mean, if the games are gonna be fire, then I don't care. Give me Sonic with no clothes, When was the last time you had a 9 out of 10 Sonic game? When was the last time you had an 8 out of 10 Sonic game?
I want you to put the word out there that we back up. Understand me? We back up.
Mario's a bad brother discourse. I actually despise that. Where has this come about? I've never seen this discourse in my life. I remember in Luigi's Mansion 3 when they were hugging each other as well. That's some host brother stuff right there. I don't see them hating each other for real. Maybe it's from a cartoon or whatever where Mario said something. There was a whole move where Mario saved Luigi. Kind of kills the whole argument right there. Done and dusted. Complaining about wokeness in video games, and really any media. Now by wokeness, I'm assuming that he's talking about females not having big breasts or something. I don't know. But it's kind of like what I said with the Sonic point, where people have an idea what they want a character to look like. So let's say with a lot of female characters, I know that's where the woke discussion comes from. They don't like when a character's too ugly because they'll be like, oh, it doesn't look similar to real women. They look like a man. But then some people also don't like characters that look too attractive because not every woman is attractive. But it's can we just focus on making a good game? Do we need to worry about whether a woman's attractive, whether a woman's ugly? Just make a woman attractive. Every Sonic debate, we are taking things a little too seriously. Mate, I've seen a lot of silly Sonic debates in the past. I've seen debates on Sonic with rings. I've seen debates on boost pads. I've seen debates on voice actors.
I'll make you eat those words!
And I will make a video reacting to all of these debates because I find it really interesting. And it's also really cringe. Like, can we stop? It's a blue hedgehog. Come on. Like, relax. I understand there's a lot to talk about with this blue hedgehog. There's a lot to discuss, but like, let's not jump the gun a bit. Or you could jump the gun, I guess. It's gonna, I don't know, give me something to talk about. Not every game needs a HD remake or remaster. Some of them look worse and are rushed out the door, so they are full of bugs. Just port the original game. I agree, but remasters and remakes in video games, depending on the game, can be good or bad.
Sometimes may be good, sometimes may be shit.
An example of a good remake is the Crash Bandicoot remake. They made the controls, the graphics, make it look faithful to the originals. Now, even though I didn't kind of like the game because I'm just not a Crash fan, I can respect it, and I can respect the hard work behind it. Now let's look at the other side. The Last of Us remake. It was so pointless, especially when there was a remaster before. In 2014, they remastered the game for the PS4, and they just remade the game. I don't get it. Now, I understand they wanted to make it look closer to The Last of Us 2, but it's so pointless. I even remember they're gonna remake Horizon Zero Dawn. That game came out in 2016. It just depends on what kind of games you're gonna remaster and remake, because not every game will need it, but a game benefits from it. Let's not lie. Some, or at least some games. But I understand if some people won't like it because it will feel like just a brand new game. But it may bring new audiences into the franchise that you're talking about. Who knows? Is it art? Yes. Next question. I don't like how people be talking about gaming and how it's just not art. Like, have you seen some of the screenshots from games? Look at this. Look at this. Look at this, look at this, look at this. That is art in its purest form. The video games are art and the music is art. That's real music. I don't like people talking about how video game music is just music for cartoons that you can control. No, that's real music. Real orchestras, real bands, they came together and made this beautiful piece of music. If you want to hear good music, listen to the Nier Automata soundtrack.
Perfection.
Not so much a specific discourse, but I think it'd be great if we could approach each other's opinions on games, preferences, etc. with a sense of genuine respect, in the interest of constructive conversation, rather than simply dunking on each other for engagement. I agree with this one wholeheartedly. I see this a lot of times, and it's not even just with video games. I see this with movie discussions, with different anime discussions. A lot of people just can't help themselves but to dunk and own the things that you like. Like, you can talk about your favorite Marvel movie, you can talk about your favorite video game without having to put the other one down. You know, it's like, just enjoy them both, man. Just enjoy them both.
Oh, that thing's awful right there. You like that? No, look at this. It's really nice and it's...
No, you don't have to do that. Stop saying Melee is the best Smash game. Now see that? That's called an opinion. People who say every game needs a compelling story, there are plenty of amazing games that aren't pretending to be Hollywood movies. That's probably just like PlayStation fanboys or whatever. Not every game needs a compelling story, and that's probably one of the reasons that I find, you know, casual gamers a little bit of, you know, like, because most likely they'll play like games that are like in the mainstream. Like, they'll play a Last of Us, they'll play a God of War PS4. They'll play games like this where it's the story's like the front focus, and you know, obviously the game comes with it as well, but it's like the story's kind of like the full focus. You're here to like engage in the story, you're following through on the journey, and obviously that's like with most games, or at least most 3D games. I'm not sure about 2D ones. It varies from different games. They play games like that that really follow the story, has different branching pathways or whatever, stuff like that. And then when it comes down to a game that's like let's just take Sonic Mania for example, there's not really much storytelling in that. Let's say they look at a game like that, let's be like, oh, the story's not great. Bad example, I know, but games like that, they'll just be like, oh, it's not really a great game, it's just there's no story, whatever. Like, story's not important at the end of the day. Like, when it comes to games, a game can have a bad story and still a good game. I don't play a lot of story-driven games like God of War, the ones I've listed for, God of War, Uncharted. I don't play games like that. I play more adventure games, more sometimes platformers, sports games. That's the kinds of games I play. But yeah, no, you don't really need a compelling story. Once the game's fun, no one's gonna care about the story anyway, realistically. Where do I even start? Join us. It's worse than you think. Lives in video games are archaic and don't belong because they are inly the because of arcades, and they serve no purpose. Some pasty soyboy who doesn't understand that reputation breeds mastery. So sick of these cock new tubers spreading this. Boy, Yo, Vex, huh? I kind of like the lives in video games. Like, I kind of like the live system. It gives a sense of challenge, you know. You can't keep just dying forever and hoping that you can go back to how it is.
Cause you know it's not the same.
Like, it just offers that little bit of challenge that, you know, helps you stay on your toes, you know, be more careful in video games. I don't like the idea of them always having to remove it because it's from the past. I don't think it's from the past. If anything, removing it from video games just kind of feels stupid. Like, remember when Sonic Colors Ultimate removed the life system and replaced it with like this Tails thing? And even when you died and you had no Tails saves left, you still get brought back to that checkpoint. What was the point? Just bring the lives back? That's me personally though. I don't know what these companies be thinking of when they think the life system is too archaic. I think it's fine, me personally. But maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm just a no-head. Alright, we are going to conclude it here. What did we take away from this? Gamers suck. They're very indecisive and they don't know what they're doing. But that's what makes it special. We're not the same person. We don't always play the same games. So I like how everyone can just come together humbly, you know, humbly and peacefully, and talk in this. I'm sure there was no other bad blood, you know, no other slurs mentioned in this. You know, I'm sure. I'm trying to get back into my creative bag, even though I barely had one. But I'm trying to create more videos for you guys. I've got another video that I'm planning that will be dropping in like 2 weeks. I know, crazy. But without further ado, I'll let you guys get on with your day. I've been me, clearly. And yeah, have a good one. Bye.